Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm sure you're going to enjoy this course. You can see the course title is Transformational Leadership, but it's directed towards you as either an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur. So either you are that employee, that distinguished employee rising in an organization, or that person that is starting another organization yourself. So this course is directed towards you, and it's from Valdimas Intelligence LLC. I am Dr. Joshua Kolawole. I'm a global transformational leadership trainer. But I would help you balance how transformational leadership can help you as an entrepreneur to cause major changes in your organization, to drive transformation in your organization, as well as how this can also help you as an entrepreneur that is either starting or running an organization that is already full-blown. So thank you so much for joining me today. Here are my details. If you want to follow me, if you want to buy the book, Transforming the Impossible, and that's if you've not purchased the book already, because for you to get on the course, it would be worthwhile for you to have the book, because the book is actually like our syllabus for driving this course. So I would love you to get the book on Amazon or get it on valdimasintelligence.org. And that's depending on where you are in the world. So this course is Diploma in Transformational Leadership and Intra and Entrepreneurial Excellence. Our target, our goal is to actually follow all the chapters in the book and help you to translate what we have written in the book into practical steps to teach you in practical ways how you can actually leverage the principles from the book to actually generate transformational results in your organization as an entrepreneur or on your organization as an entrepreneur. So the first thing I would like you to note is that this course is going to promote your thinking. That is one thing that I need you to hold dearly, because as you think in your heart, so will determine the choices you will make. That will determine if the choices you will make will be transformational choices or just general choices. I love saying it like this. Generally, I say when people are thinking, I love to talk about it this way. I said there are general thoughts, and aside from general thoughts, there are also other things like evolving thoughts. Evolving, or what you can say, improving thoughts. But you see, the third and the most important one, which is the one I love the most, are actually transformational thoughts. Now, the price you would pay to get to this point of transformational thinking, the price is what you're already doing now. You're actually getting yourself trained so that you can move your thinking process from general to evolving and then to transformational. And you see, a good thought is resting on many things. One of the first things is the learning that you have exposed yourself to, either structured or unstructured learning. Another point is the quality of people that you have around you that are speaking into your ears, making suggestions to you. Another thing that actually influences our thinking is the quality of tools. Quality of tools you have at your disposal. There was a time I didn't know about Excel VLOOKUP, and I needed to do some work in Excel, and I had to do it manually, and I wasted a lot of time. But when I had access to tool, it made my thinking faster and easier. I could make decision faster. So thinking is actually a critical part, and this thinking is resting on our ability to analyze things in a different way. So I just wanted you to see that. Basically, number two, that this book and this course will do for you is that it will help your passion. You see, to become greatly passionate, you will go through a lot of process, because passion is an inherent nature. You need to be strongly inspired for you to be passionate. So this course would help you to become passionate about transforming the minds of your people. That's the people in your family, your team, your organization, so that you can transform their culture, which is one critical factor I talk to people about. You must transform your culture. Transform your system, your organization, and your nation. The third thing is that this book would make you pursue advanced models. You see, there are always general models, and there are advanced models. Another thing you need to get that you will derive from this course, if you wait and learn to the end, is that you will be taught the process of generating great outcomes. And then one thing I mentioned here is practical engagement. If you want to learn practically how to engage the 9 needed agile quality minds for you to drive innovation, then you will stay to the end. These are some of the reviews from the book. You can pause this in the video and then read if you really want to. This is another set from professionals who are distinguished in their fields, who have read the book. As a breakdown to the course, I would like you to first note that there will be a pre-assessment quiz. I'm sure you have taken that by now. By the time you're getting to this video, you have the model video which you're already listening to now. Of course, you have access to this course material, and then you have linked to other related materials based on this course. And finally, for you to finish this first module, you would have to take a quiz. And that would now allow you to go into the module for the living mind. This is just an introductory module, but as an introduction, I just want you to know that every time your mind shifts, your world shifts. So when people tell you, I don't even know what's happening to me, all you just need to help them do is to help their mind to shift from that level to the next level. By the time they shift to the next level, they will know what is happening to them in the previous level. I said that jokingly, but it's also real. The great solution to all human problems is the individual's inner transformation. You see, we'll still talk about a statement from James Allen that says, as a man thinketh, so easy. That's one part. But the other part that is much more interesting is another statement that speaks to the fact that people want things to change in their environment. They want their circumstances to change. Unfortunately, they don't want to change as a person. Because they do not want to change as a person, they end up being in bondage. Because the original thing that changes your circumstances, that gives you results as an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur, is that your inner mind has to change. And you keep asking me, what's the concept of this inner mind? Let me bring up an analysis. You see, we say the inner mind. The inner mind, I will categorically just break it down into 3 for you to understand. I would say seeing, but this seeing, I will talk about it based on the organ for sight. I will say hearing, and I would, of course, that will be here. And then the third thing is actually understanding. Understanding is the translation from knowledge to wisdom. Wisdom is the practical application of the right principles that would solve a problem efficiently and effectively. You can rewind that if you want to learn. And this is the mind. So when I say your inner mind increases, you see the capacity of your eyes to see differently. That when others are saying something of low quality, you are seeing how you can convert that low quality to something of high magnitude. That means we have been able to help your eyes to see better. You must see better and you must see farther. So you must see you must hear better and you must listen deeply. You must be able to listen deeply. And then here, your eyes must be able to hear what is happening now and also listen as an understand for the future. So you're actually understanding for the future. Let me erase this. You're actually understanding, knowing what's related to the future. So you're knowing for the future. Knowing for the future, and then this is not here, sorry. So you're actually knowing for the future. So once you are able to, this is knowing for now and knowing for the future. These are the things when we say something has changed about you. It means the way you now see things is different. When others are saying something of low quality as an entrepreneur, it's common for entrepreneurs to say there's no funds. But a person with a more matured mind understand that the little funds you have in your hand is the seed that you must put down for you to generate the future funds. When the future funds comes in a business, there's the part that goes into seed, there's the part that comes out as harvest. The one that goes into seed must be invested. So every major business starts as a seed. It starts growing gradually over time. You must nurture it, provide great environment for it. So as an entrepreneur, you must keep investing in your learning. Learning will help you see better, hear better. It will help you understand better. The same thing goes for an entrepreneur. So as not to waste too much time on that, I believe you should be able to grapple what I'm saying. So when they say the great solution to all human problem is the individual's inner transformation, what we're practically saying is that something must happen to your mind that will help you see better, that will help you hear better, and that will help you understand things better. And that is a function of what you're learning, what you're exposing your mind to, basically. So the author's mind to you, from the book, there are some expressions from the author in paragraphs that were actually communicated. The first thing is that transformation is crucial to living your dreams and making history on earth. It is a gift to humanity, the very few who would position for it. I will not deceive you. You must fight to take your position and fight to stay in the position for transformation. There is a lot that deals with focus that is required. So you can't start a business and just be gallivanting around. You must stay focused on the business. I love to differentiate it this way. I talk about trade and I talk about businesses. If you're doing trade, you can juggle into many trades together. That's not a problem. But once you have made up your mind to start a business, then you have a clear statement of purpose. In fact, I tell people as a consultant, do not go into a business that you can't see at least 10 years ahead. If you cannot have a factor of 10 years that you're seeing clearly, you're definitely in a trade, because it's the cycle is going to change and you're going to jump onto another thing. So when you're going into a business system, you must think about to create a big system, a robust system that is sustainable at least a decade ahead. So the second thing is that transformation is a gift to liberate yourself from living for yourself and stepping up to a whole new level, a soul full of life, love, and leadership and legacy. As an entrepreneur, you must understand that if you're in an organization and you want to rise above others, technical excellence is good. I can know how to use all the tools, Microsoft Suite, Canva, know how to use all those skills. But one thing that would differentiate you to become a transformational leader in any organization is when you start learning to lead people. Leading people will help you get people to generate even greater results that they think they can generate on their own. So you see the difference between an entrepreneur that comes in with excellence and even an entrepreneur that comes with the excellence is that one of them is so good at their job. I once met a guy in a conference in Durban in South Africa, and we got talking, and I told him, what do you do? He said, I'm an HOD IT for my organization. And I said, wow, fantastic. He now said, what I noticed of late is that I really don't have time to even write codes again. What I do more now is managing people, and people are difficult to manage. Codes, I can understand them easily. I now looked at him, I paused for a second, and we walked for some few steps, and I told him, I said, are you really ready to step into leadership? Then you have to stop managing codes and start leading humans. What would actually make a difference in your career in 5, in 10 years is your ability to lead people. That is why taking this course is so significant, because it's going to help you build a standard competence for your technical excellence. But much more importantly, as much as you love technical excellence, you must be able to lead people. Notice I didn't say manage people. I said lead people, because you only manage codes, you manage resources, you manage materials, you manage other things, you manage even time, but you must lead people. And by leading people, that means you must inspire them, you must intellectually stimulate them, you must be able to define an ideal value system, craft out an audacious vision, create something that is different for them to start following, to start emulating. That is when you can now inspire people and not coerce them in any way to generate great results. This is the difference between leadership and just managing our resources. And a man's mind either gets transformed sustainably or gets deformed as he journeys through his days on earth. I want you to know that as you're going through both an entrepreneur, you will go through some turbulent days, some difficult days. You either make up your mind to be transforming yourself, otherwise if you leave your life to chance, it would just go into a deformative state. And that is why people run more into becoming socialized mind over time. That's why they grow into complacency. You hear people going into, well, I'm even tired, let me just be cruising along. That's because they have left their heart to complacency, to deformation. The fourth point is that you think we actually look and listen with our eyes and ears, but the truth is we actually do with our inner mind. And the extent of transformation in your mind determines what you see, what you read, what you hear, what you understand, what you react, and what you respond to at every time. Look, the two of us can be in a business system and we can be looking at the same circumstance. And I will tell you there's a way in this. And the other partner will say, no, there's no way. I can't see a way out. And that's the difference between the degree of transformation in our soul. So, one thing I would advise as an entrepreneur, when turbulence comes, when things become tough, there's no funds, relax. Go back to the drawing board, reanalyze the whole scenario, do all your analysis, and you will see that the more you learn, there's actually a knowledge that can help you to get out of that circumstance. There is always a knowledge. So, the fifth point is that with your mind, you live in two universes at the same time. You live in two universes at the same time, and your capacity to be able to bring realities from the unseen, intangible side of life to the tangible side of life is what makes you a transformed mind. So transformation also speaks to your capacity for faith, your capacity for ideation, for insight, for depth of understanding of your environment, of your people, of your circumstances, of all the available resources you have per time, and the ability to use those things to craft out results in the physical realm. Don't forget, no matter how fantastic the idea is, you must be able to birth it into physical realm. And when you birth an idea on day one, it doesn't become matured on day one. You must understand that just like a newborn, you have to nurture it with milk until it's able to feed on solid food. That is how the process of transformation is. Transformational leaders work for decades to turn worthless resources into priceless system. Changes in the world are inevitable. There are a lot of changes going on around us, but transforming your mind and realism is entirely your choice. You can choose to focus your attention on your external realm and the difficulties in your environment. Maybe your new president just devalued your currency. Maybe there is chaos in your environment. You can choose to focus on the fact that the glass is half full. But some other people will keep choosing to focus on that filled half of the glass and keep evolving with it. As they focus on what they have, what they can do, you keep focusing on the half that is not filled and give excuses. You as an entrepreneur, whatever you have is what you focus on and you do well with it. So I want to also bring you into the understanding that you can also focus on other unseen realm and leverage the deep virtues and capacities inherent in your mind for reasoning, for bringing out ideas. Ultimately, if you follow this course to the end, you will see that you will be able to transform your teams. And as always, what are you going to change in them? Their capacity for passion, for vision, for purpose, and for taking disciplined actions. If you're able to bet these 4 key qualities in them, you don't even need to struggle with them. They will auto transform the system. But your work as a leader is to help them become passionate, more inspired, more motivated. So one of the key tenets or traits of transformational leadership is what? Is inspirational motivation. You must be able to get them to be internally motivated. You cannot continue to manage or you can't even manipulate anyone and call yourself a transformational leader. So let's go into the full scale of the whole gist. Transformational growth is from internal to external. Let's settle it. It is your mind that must grow first before your external circumstances will change. If you try to follow the opposite direction, you will move to purposelessness. So growth drives improvement in your competence, in your character, in your compassionate, courageous, and consistent nature. Look, one of the things that would distinguish an excellent person, they sat many CEOs together. Berkshire Hathaway CEO, Warren Buffett, I think Bill Gates' father. They sat them together and they were asking them questions. And they said, what is one important thing that will make your business grow out of the ordinary? They both didn't know when both of them said focus. They said your capacity to stay on that dream and keep pouring your life into it, keep investing your energy, your time, your talent, your resources, all the opportunities you have into that idea. People will blame you. Some people will tell you, look, there is no more way in that. You will say, as far as I can see, there is a way in it. And you keep building. So as an entrepreneur in an organization, you keep giving on your best. Even when your other colleagues are laughing at you, you keep developing yourself. And for others, entrepreneurs now, I want to give you an example. Donald Trump was said to engage the city of New York for 17 years to be able to get permission to build a massive structure. 17 years. You know what he wrote in that book? According to how I got the information, they said he wrote that is why there are only few billionaires in the world. Very few people can stay dogged on an idea for years. Amazon. Remember Jeff Bezos, 1994 to 2009 or 2010, they were running at a negative. I read not too long ago that the profit they made in a quarter was far more than the total profit they made in the first maybe 15 or 20 years of their existence. But the capacity to stay dogged, to keep delighting your customer, bringing on the difference, building solid team, building world-class sustainable platform is what is lacking. So as an entrepreneur, you need to understand that the growth is from internal to external. It is you that must grow first. When you grow, you will be able to drive a lot of growth in your environment. But when your own mind is small, then the growth in your environment will also be smaller. And the challenge is that you are eager to change these external circumstances. But what transformational leadership ideal is teaching you is that it is this place that the original growth needs to happen first. So the capacity for your mind to grow and become bigger is crucial. Now, another thing you must know is that to change is to do something different in a different way within an existing culture or a system. So I'll put culture A and I'll bring culture B and I'll put culture C. You see, your capacity to move from this culture level to this culture level is transformation. To move from this B to C is transformation. When you make changes within A, you are still within a certain context, and this will just be changes. It's only a matter of time. Don't forget, culture will soon eat that strategy up. Culture will soon destroy that vision. As long as you are not able to engage people in a disciplined action to change their character, their competence, their compassionate, courageous, and consistent nature, to transform them, you will not be able to push them from a culture level A or a system level A to B, irrespective of the number of tools, behavioral changes, or processes that you bring to them. So transformation is for the people, processes, and system to become something different by introducing and reinforcing completely new, as in reinforcing only new mind capacity, new culture, new attitude, new expertise, new capabilities, and ultimately you will birth new performance improvement. So this is crucial. I'm coming. This is crucial. So and you need to get. You need to get that. So, and let's keep going. Okay, so I already gave you a definition of transformation, but just to reiterate on the point, the transformation at this point includes what would improve the maturity of your mind, your capability, the value you create, uniqueness, and the noble impact that you make on your system. You see, these 5 key characteristics are classic. I just spoke about the maturity of your mind as your capacity to see, to hear, and your mind to understand. And then capabilities means the ability, the skill, the knowledge you bring on board will be significantly different. The value you create is a function of the quality times the quantity divided by the cost to which we will generate it. Your uniqueness is your strategic differentiation in that environment. As you're building your system, try and hold a certain aspect. Look at Volvo. Volvo is noted for what? Okay, I thought you guessed right. Safety. They made the first seat belt and they gave it out to other motor making companies for free. Another thing, Toyota is known for what? Fuel efficiency and reliability. So you don't all have to fight for the same thing. So there's no best car in the world, basically. But each car has its own unique area where they've invested extra into. Do you understand? Luxury brand of Toyota is Lexus. It's known for luxury. So Mercedes is known for class. Everybody just chose a strategic area and became and invested there. So there's no totally best car in the world. Everyone chose a strategic and a unique area. And ultimately you provide a noble impact in your system. So one important thing is the conceptual charts for the journey of transformation. And I love you to know this. You see, the only way you can revitalize your discipline is for you to build your competence level, to build your character, and make sure you're consistent in what you do. You have to be courageous, and you have to also balance whatever you're doing with compassion. But I want to show you that there are 3 kinds of people on earth. This is one thing that I love people to learn. You can say this is conforming mind. There are people who conform to the norms. You can't be an entrepreneur with excellence and be a conformer. The more they give you rules, the more you should find a way to leverage those rules and see beyond the rules. You see, there are now other group of people, they are evolving mind. These ones have left the realm of conforming mind, but they've not made it to transforming mind. What these ones are doing differently is that at this point, they understand that they must take responsibility. But they are taking the responsibility not at a systemic level. They are still taking it at a personal level. Until you get to the point where you start seeing in systems. That is when you will be able to become a transforming mind. And by systems, you would ask me, what do you mean by systems? A systematic person thinks about time. He thinks about all stakeholders are involved in things. He would think about causation and association. And a systematic person thinks about the culture and the context. So basically, that's how a systematic person thinks. I want to help you to understand it better. The other one had a straight line, right? I intentionally made this one go through the Kubler-Ross curve so that you will understand that for every change that happens in business, it will test your emotions. It will test how emotionally intelligent and balanced you are. And because of that, you will go through the Kubler-Ross cycle of change. In that cycle, I will still talk about it. There's what we call the valley of despair. I think I should just go to the next slide where we have the Kubler-Ross cycle of change. This is the value of despair I'm talking about. Every change you undergo in your business, either you create a new line of business, new line of thought, even you as an entrepreneur, when you go learn a new skill, in the first process, you will become happy. But by the time the skills start testing your resilience, you fall into informed pessimism, and that energy will start going down. Before you notice it, you get to the value of despair. You have 2 choices at the value of despair. This is where people need coaches. This is where you need me as a transformational leader. This is where you need this course. Because my job as a transformational coach is to help you reduce the depth of the value of your despair. I am supposed to give you inspirational motivation, intellectual stimulation. This is where I'm supposed to come with idealized influence and individual consideration to help you reduce this. And the more I reduce this, the less the value of you quitting, and the higher the value of you building grit, which is courage, and for you to keep going. By the time you rise up to become an informed optimist, I can leverage on your mastery to start training people who are coming behind. And that's the goal. So you see in the description here, beyond success in any field of human endeavor, from career to business, to politics, greatness and genuine transformation that happens in the life of great men who have worked this has been linked with excellence in their inner thought, feelings, imagination, and judgment. Your inner thought, your feelings, your imagination, and judgment must be sharp. Therefore, transformational leaders have gone through several cycles of change curve, and they have healed out of it. They now love, but they love with detachment. They have a balanced understanding. As a transformed mind, let me tell you one thing. Profit and loss will not make you flicker differently. If you are still at a level where the day you declare profit, you are happier than the day you declare loss, you are still not yet transformed. When you're a transformed mind, both good and bad will be equal to you in your representative mind. Because you know that there is no good without bad, and there is no bad without good. So you know that both good and bad share coexistence in this world. The one you're able to leverage now is the one that makes a difference. As an entrepreneur, you will learn that you're on an infinite game, not a finite game. You are not in a cross-sectional research research. You are in a cohort, and it's a long haul cohort. And in that cohort studies, it's a prospective cohort study that you must continuously learn, continuously intellectualize, continuously develop coherent philosophy, constantly scan and adapt to your environment, and be able to create what is great for your customer. Delight your customer, create higher value for them, bring strategic differentiation like a luxury brand, become known for a class, and then generate results in that class. And you then work on building sustainability into that, basically. So for us to keep going for time's sake, you need to understand that men are eager to change the circumstances, but unwilling to improve themselves. Just like organizations too are eager to change their circumstances, but they're unwilling to change the system, to force people to get people to learn, to inspire people to develop their capacity. Change is inevitable, but you must know that transformation is a choice. One other thing I want you to know is that in your environment, you will always see people who achieve results on an external realm alone. They are just okay by the cars they are changing, the houses they are changing, but they themselves are not changing. And that's a dangerous way to grow. My father once told me one time, he said, as you're rising up in life, make sure you build a structure under yourself. You see, the capacity to build structure under yourself is to build on rocks and not just build on sand. Make sure you become more solid in what you do. So because of that, when a mind has transformed beyond an environment, it becomes more difficult for such environment, for such mind to be in that social limitation. Once you develop your mind beyond an environment, it's only a matter of time your body will physically move away from that environment, because you start having problems even in that environment. You will not be able to listen. They might even start calling you rebel in that environment, but the truth is you have outgrown your usefulness in that environment. Ultimately, some people generate result by manipulation. Do not generate result by manipulating result. The essence of a transformed mind is to go through process, to build the process, and to over time strategically differentiate yourself to generate result.